Welcome back to Superbike Intelligence, everyone. It is always amazing having you here, and today, oh man, today we're diving into something that honestly feels like BMW just snapped and said, fine, you want a sport tour that hits like a Street Fighter? We'll give you one that scares superbikes. This is the 2026 BMW M1000XR EVO, and trust me, this thing is not just an upgrade, it's a complete rethinking of what a sport tour can be. Before we jump in, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel grow, and it tells me you want more deep dive breakdowns of these insane next-gen machines. Alright, let's get straight into this beast. So BMW's M division has already been dipping their toes into the motorcycle world with the M1000RR and the M1000R. Both of those bikes are already ridiculous in their own categories. But the idea of taking that M engineering philosophy and injecting it into the XR platform, that's something else. It's almost like BMW looked at the riders who love big mile comfort, but secretly want to embarrass super sport riders in the twisties, and said, here, this is for you. Now visually, the new EVO looks like BMW put the XR on a strict race diet and then sent it to the gym for a year. The fairing is slimmer, the winglets are sharper, and the proportions are much more aggressive than the previous M1000XR. What really stands out is how BMW has blended the tall, commanding ride of a sport tourer with the compact, muscular stance of a naked street fighter. It's tall, but it doesn't feel bulky. It's sharp, but it doesn't feel fragile. Everything looks functional. Like every spike, every curve, every cutout is there to solve a problem. Wind tunnel work? Absolutely. But it doesn't scream touring bike, it screams move out of my way. And then there's the heart of this machine, the new hybrid assisted engine. Yep, BMW actually did it. The 2026 M1000XR EVO is running a refined version of their ShiftCam Inline 4, but now paired with a compact hybrid system designed to give you instant torque at low RPM and a massive mid-range shove when you want to slingshot out of a corner. This isn't some Prius setup. This is BMW using electric torque like nitrous. Short bursts of energy that make the bike feel alive in your hands. From what insiders are saying, the electric motor fills in the gaps during gear changes, meaning every upshift feels completely seamless. No dips in power, no dead spots. Just one long, fluid wave of acceleration. You're basically getting M1000RR style shove, but on a bike with upright ergonomics and luggage mounts. The idea of riding somewhere super far, feeling totally comfortable, and still having this level of performance on tap, that's wild. The coolest part? The hybrid system has different personalities. In eco mode, the bike feels smooth, controlled, almost polite. It glides through traffic, the electric motor helps reduce fuel consumption, and everything feels effortless. Switch into dynamic or the new M race mode, and suddenly the electric motor becomes your little turbocharger buddy. It's subtle in the sense that nothing jerks or snaps, but you absolutely feel that punch the moment you twist the throttle. And BMW didn't stop at power. They reworked the chassis for 2026 to better handle the extra performance. The frame geometry feels tighter. The suspension has new electronically adaptive damping that reads the road, the rider, and the level of aggression in your inputs. If you're cruising down a motorway, it relaxes everything. Plush, calm, stable. But the moment you flick your wrist or shift your weight, the system stiffens up instantly, like the bike just snapped away. There's been a lot of talk about the EVO being more Street Fighter than Sport Tourer, and I get why. The way it changes direction, even compared to the outgoing M1000XR, is noticeably sharper. It doesn't roll through corners, it dives into them like it's hunting apexes. This is the first XR where you genuinely forget you're sitting upright. The bars give you leverage, the chassis gives you insane grip, and suddenly you're carrying SuperBike corner speed while sitting in a comfortable chair. It's a hilarious combination. But here's the part that surprised everyone. BMW actually gave this thing a bit of off-road capability. Now, I'm not saying you're going motocrossing on an M bike, but they've tuned the traction system, added a hybrid assisted crawl mode, and optimized the suspension so the bike can confidently handle gravel roads, broken tarmac, and fire trails. So if your weekend ride takes you somewhere a little unpredictable, the EVO isn't going to panic. It keeps the balance and torque delivery under control, and the hybrid motor gives you this smooth tractor-like pull when you're maneuvering at low speeds. It's the kind of thing that doesn't sound important until you actually need it. And BMW clearly built the EVO with versatility in mind. They want this to be the bike that replaces 2 or 3 bikes in your garage. Your tourer, your daily commuter, your canyon weapon, and honestly, it might. Now, let's talk about the interior, or cockpit, because BMW has definitely brought some luxury car DNA into this. The new 8-inch curved TFT screen is one of the nicest displays I've ever seen on a motorcycle. It's crisp, ultra bright, and genuinely feels like you're looking at a premium device. They've updated the UI to show hybrid power flow, electric boost availability, and real-time energy recovery. It actually makes the hybrid system feel engaging rather than hidden in the background. One of the coolest features is the new adaptive navigation overlay. Instead of a static map, you get a dynamic representation of your next several corners, elevation changes, and even recommended braking zones if you're in track or sport riding mode. Basically, it's like having a co-driver whispering advice in your ear, except they're not annoying. And because it's BMW, you get premium touches everywhere. Backlit switches for night riding, wireless phone charging, customizable ambient lighting around the dash, and even a new comfort thermal mode that uses waste heat from the hybrid system to keep the cockpit warm on cold mornings. Someone at BMW really thought about touring riders. Now the big question, what's the damage? How much does all of this cost? Early numbers suggest the 2026 BMW M1000XR EVO is going to start around $24,000 to $25,000 in the UK, probably $25,000 to $27,000 in the US, and around $26,000 to $28,000 in Europe. Once you start ticking the M Performance goodies, carbon wheels, luggage, and the full electronic suite, you're probably looking at closer to $29,000 to $30,000. Expensive? Absolutely. Worth it? For the performance, comfort, and versatility this thing offers? Yeah, I think a lot of riders are going to say yes. Let's compare it quickly to the previous M1000XR. The older bike was already insane. 200 horsepower, razor-sharp chassis, amazing long-distance comfort. But it lacked two things: low-end torque and advanced energy efficiency. The EVO solves both problems. The hybrid fill gives it grunt everywhere, and the engine runs cooler, cleaner, and smoother. The new aero reduces fatigue at high speeds. The cockpit is a complete generation ahead. And the way the suspension adapts moment to moment makes the old bike feel almost analog by comparison. It's not just a refresh, it's a genuine leap. And when you compare it to the Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak, the KTM Super Duke GT, even the Triumph Tiger 1200 RR prototypes, the BMW has something none of them do: actual hybrid torque. The BMW isn't just playing the sport tourer game, it's trying to redefine it. After riding so many bikes and seeing where the industry is heading, I honestly think this segment, the ultra-high performance sport tourer, is going to explode. People want comfort, but refuse to give up excitement. They want practicality, but they also want bragging rights. And BMW, with the M1000XR EVO, is basically saying, fine, have everything. So imagine this. You're riding cross-country with full luggage, music playing through your helmet, sitting upright, feeling fresh. And then you hit a mountain pass, flick the bike into M-Race mode, and suddenly you're on something that accelerates like a SuperBike and corners like a naked. All without your wrist hurting, without your back screaming, and without needing track leathers. That's the dream, and BMW is making it real. To wrap this up, the 2026 BMW M1000XR EVO isn't just a new model. It's BMW flexing everything they know about performance, comfort, electronics, and innovation. It's the kind of bike that makes you rethink what you actually need. It's the kind of bike that might just replace 3 bikes in your garage. And I think it's going to be one of the most talked about motorcycles of 2026. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to SuperBike Intelligence. Your support means the world, and it pushes me to keep bringing you the most in-depth breakdowns of the coolest machines coming our way. Thanks for watching, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.